Good morning to all. In the last class I taught you about the friction, right? That is unit 3. In this class I am going to teach you about the next unit, that is unit 4, balancing and mechanisms for control, right? First we need to know what's the balancing. What's the balancing? Balancing is the process of designing or modifying the machines to reduce the unbalance to the optimized level. Otherwise, it's to the zero. Zero, it's not able to get it. So we need to reduce the maximum vibration. Reduce the maximum vibration, otherwise maximum unbalance. Right? That is the definition for balancing. What's balancing? Balancing is the process of designing or modifying the machines to reduce unbalance to the optimized level, right? This is the balancing. Then, what are the types of balancing? First we need to know what are the types of balancing. What are the types of balancing? Static balancing, dynamic balancing. The balancing we can classify into two different types. That is, one is static balancing, another one dynamic balancing. This static balancing and dynamic balancing have different conditions, right? For static balancing, should satisfy the condition the net dynamic force acting on the shaft is equal to 0. Wherever the static balancing will occur, there we need to satisfy this condition. Net dynamic force acting on the shaft is equal to 0. Whatever force is acting on the system, that should be in the equilibrium condition. That should be in the equilibrium condition, right? That is the condition for static balancing. Next, dynamic balancing. What is the dynamic balancing? Where the system is in the operating condition, right? That system should be satisfy these two conditions. First one, the net dynamic force acting on the system is equal to 0. Second one, the net coupled due to the dynamic force acting on the shaft is equal to 0, right? In the static balancing, only considering the dynamic forces, right? Here, in the dynamic balancing, we need to consider dynamic force as well as the net coupled due to the dynamic force, right? Both the conditions we need to satisfy here, right? Then, what are the balancing masses? What are the balancing masses available? What are the balancing masses? Balancing of rotating masses, balancing of reciprocating masses. Balancing of rotating masses and balancing of reciprocating masses, right? Which system consists of the rotating elements? Which system consists of rotating elements? In that, we have applied some different forces. That system should satisfy. Based on that, the balancing of rotating mass will occur. Then, where we are using this balancing of reciprocating mass means engine, IC engine, radial engine, whatever engine we are using for the power transmission. For this application, the reciprocating motion will take place here. So we need to balance that reciprocating masses, right? That kind of balancing is called as balancing of reciprocating masses, right? Then, first I am going to teach you about the balancing of rotating mass cases. What are the balancing of rotating mass conditions is available here. The balancing of, first one, the balancing of a single rotating mass by a single mass rotating in a same plane. Single mass rotating in the same plane. What is this means? Any rotating shaft, only one shaft is rotating in the one direction, like this. This is a shaft. Here one mass is rotating. It is rotating along this center axis, right? Similarly, we need to use the balancing mass in the same plane. Same plane means the same direction. We need to apply the some mass, balancing mass, right? This is the actual mass is rotating, this is the balancing mass, right? These are the conditions. Then second case, the balancing of single rotating mass by a two masses rotating in the different planes. Here also only one mass is rotating, but for the balancing condition we need to apply two different masses. For that, this is the shaft. This is the actual mass, right? This is the actual mass. Here we are applying two different masses, right? To balance the entire system, right? This is the condition. Then third one, the balancing of different masses rotating in the same plane. Balancing of different masses rotating in the same plane. Balancing of different masses rotating in the same plane means the masses will act the same plane only, not in the other directions. For example, is a number of masses, right? Here we are using the balancing masses in the same plane, like this. This is a balancing mass 1. This is a B, C and D, right? A, B, C, D masses. These are the balancing masses MB1 and MB2, right? These are the balancing masses. In the same plane only the mass will be act. Last one, the balancing of different masses rotating in the different planes. Different masses rotating in the different planes. Here the masses in the different direction. The balancing masses will act in the different direction, right? That is the difference between the previous one. Difference from the previous one, right? In this class, I taught you about the balancing. What are the basics about the balancing, and what are the types of balancing, and what are the balancing masses available, and what are the rotating masses, balancing of rotating masses available, right? In the next class, I will teach you about one of the most important problem in the balancing of rotating mass. Thank you.